Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker. Well, guys, I have been seeing on my timeline Jamaicans versus Black Americans, and that really doesn't sit well with me at all. I'm sad about that, for real. For those of you who don't know, I am a Black American with a Jamaican mother. I want to see us get along and to see us tear, each other apart, because my blood is in both, my heart is with both. Um, Particularly during this time, Hurricane Melissa, it's like, man, it doesn't sit well with me at all. It just doesn't. So what I'm gonna do is, I've been hearing things that I don't agree with, certain things that are really untrue and unfair. So I want to take my time to address it. Okay. So, first and foremost, let me give my empathy to Jamaica. Why? Because although they've had hurricanes before, this is the first category 5 hurricane that moved at 195 miles an hour. Listen, guys, I was in like what they call like the tail end of a hurricane once, and that took my raincoat off of my body. A hurricane is nothing to play with. Okay? So I can't imagine. And then I'm seeing pictures. My cousin actually is collecting her money for down there as well, because there are people who are literally homeless. They have no home. Their crops have been destroyed. So they don't have any food. They have no means to feed their baby. You understand me? So this is just, it's just terrible. There are countries that have been hit by this hurricane, this type of hurricane, this category, and it took them years to rebuild. Okay? So I'm like, man, this is no good, And I believe the hurricane was caused by global warming. Hear what I'm saying? They've always had hurricanes, category 1, 2, and 3. Okay? But they've never had a category 5. I'm not completely blaming America, because I don't believe that America is the only country that abuses the planet. However, because so many have, I believe that the winds of that hurricane stayed in that ocean a little bit longer than it was supposed to. And with all that water and wind and everything culminating together, it built up and built up before it landed and devastated Jamaica. So I want to apologize to Jamaica for that. Okay. I do want to apologize to them for that. And the other thing uh, that I empathize with is the fact that I feel like England slapped Jamaica in the face by only giving them $2.5 million. England is a whole country. Jamaicans have contributed a lot into building the English empire. First of all, let's talk about the fact that they enslaved so many Jamaicans, so many Africans, bringing them into Jamaica. And then when their labor force, years after slavery was over, Jamaicans helped build England. I mean, yes, they're not the only group, of course, but they contributed significantly. And I feel that 2.5 million is just too low. So I empathize with you for that reason. Okay? However, I got to give it to the Americans, and I want to apologize to Americans, Black Americans in particular. One, because they are being blamed for actions of those who are not even American. One of the videos that many Jamaicans are upset about is by a woman who's from Bermuda. Come on, she doesn't even sound American. Like, really? Really? But we got to take for her when many of us, honestly, many of us haven't even been to Bermuda, myself included. Okay? Number two, there was a white woman who also complained, and nobody is saying anything about her. Nobody is saying anything about white Americans. And then lastly, you do have a one Black American who is complaining. But you're holding her against a whole group of people as well. Again, not fair. Not fair. And I'm going to tell you why that's not fair. Because celebrities like Sha'Carri Richardson alone gave Jamaica $5 million for fixing it back up after Hurricane Melissa ravaged it. She gave more money, her individually, more money than England. You have nothing to say about England, but you want to say that Black Americans shouldn't come back to Jamaica. Really? Let me educate or enlighten some Jamaicans real quick. Your number one industry is tourism. The number one group of tourists that come to Jamaica are American. Now, they haven't broken it down by race to say, do more Black Americans come or do more white Americans come? So I can't give you that statistic, but I can say this. I've been to many different resorts in Jamaica, including the one that the complainers were staying at. I've been to that one as well. And I can tell you that I see half Black, half white. And most of them are indeed American. So careful how you put your mouth on people, okay? Because you are in danger as far as, as far as your livelihood is concerned, all right? You're in danger. Now, I will agree and I will say this about that Black American woman. Her delivery and her timing was off. But guess what? What she said, part of what she said is wrong, but part of what she said is right. And I'm going to explain real quick. All right. So what she said was, one of the things she said was, you giving us pastries for breakfast and you expect us to pay full price. So here's what's wrong. Hotels cannot guarantee breakfast, especially during a storm, especially a storm that the government of Jamaica warned the country was coming, and also recommended or shut down the airports and all that. So they can't guarantee you breakfast. So the fact that you got pastries, you should be happy. You should be jumping for joy because you have people in Jamaica who have no home. They have no kitchen. Or the kitchen is flooded. Okay? So for you to be upset with the hotel for just giving you some pastries, no. All three of you are wrong for that. all three of you are wrong for that. And why in the world did you go down during hurricane season? I mean, rule number one as a traveler, all right, I've been to 65 countries. I think I know a little something. Before you travel, one of the things you do is you find out when is the best time to go, and you find out about their seasons. All of the Caribbean, well, no, not all, most of the Caribbean experiences hurricane during that time of year. And even when they don't have hurricane, it rains a whole lot. So why did you even go? I mean, was this a business trip? And even if it was a business trip, why didn't you call the hotel, the airport, and find out a little bit more information as far as, okay, if the hurricane hits, what is it that we're supposed to do? What emergency procedures are in place to ensure that, first of all, I stay alive? That's number one. That's the most important one, right? And I know that they can tell you this because I did it this year when I went to St. Louis during tornado season. All right. So, guys, for those of you, listening, I hope you caught that. I hope you caught that. And then the other thing is, you want to also look at the travel advisory from like the American consulate. As a matter of fact, I'm planning to go to Jamaica, not right this minute, of course. And before the hurricane hit, before I booked it, they were given warnings about getting off in Jamaica. Okay. So again, guys, you got to do your research before you go. You can't just say, ooh, the fare is nice and the hotel is nice or it's pretty, so I'm just going to go. No, you need to ask those questions. You need to ask those questions. But here's where she is right, guys. When she said, aren't you going to, how come you guys are charging us full price or something to that effect? In Jamaica, the law is that when there's a storm such as this or any kind of disaster, guests are not supposed to pay full price. They are supposed to pay a distressed price. So that's a problem. And I know she's telling the truth. Why? Because there was another guest. There was another video going on where it was a white woman and she was talking about her friends. Now, I don't know if her friends are white, but they are down there celebrating their birthdays during hurricane season. Okay, that's another one. Okay, they're down there staying in the same resort, and they were also told that if they they were supposed to have left, but because there's no flights, they are staying there, and the resort said if you stay there, you got to pay full price. Yeah, no, that's illegal. That's wrong. That's not right. They have a case. Now, fighting it may not necessarily be the easiest thing. I'm thinking they probably will have to contact their credit card company, and maybe the credit card company will assist them. Oh, that's another thing too. When you are traveling during a risky time of year at a particular destination, you want to call your credit card company to find out, do they have built-in travel insurance? Because some credit card companies do, to cover you so that your money is refundable. If not, then you want to have travel insurance. Okay, so that you will get all of your money back, or whatever the benefits are, you want to find that out, and it's best to find it out before going. And the reason why it's best to find out before going is because sometimes the hurricanes knock out those cell towers. The cellular service in some countries is not as good as cell service here. Hell, some cell service here in the United States is not all that great. Certain places, I've been to certain places where only Verizon works and the other companies don't work at all. Okay. So that's why you need to find this out before you go. Get all of this stuff in place before you go. All right. And yes, you need to know the law of the country before you go, because the United States law does not count in Jamaica. Okay. Jamaican laws count. And yes, every resort has their own rules and regulation, but the law of Jamaica overrides whatever rule and regulation it is. And one thing I do know for a fact is that particular resort, that resort is not owned by a Jamaican. It's owned by a Spanish family. They don't even live in Jamaica. Okay? So that is one of the reasons why you need to learn what are your rights as a tourist in that country. Do you even have any rights as a tourist in that country? You got to know these things. You can't just say, "Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, the country is so lovely. Oh, the hotel looks so nice in the brochure. Everything is going to be splendid." No, not necessarily so. I know from experience because I stayed at that particular resort and it was not that nice. I mean, yes, it was beautiful going in, but I should have known something when I saw a man. He was Hispanic, by the way, and he was upset. He was up, he wasn't cursing or anything like that, but he was, you could see on his face that he was angry, he was mad. And the lady, the customer service person, just laughed in his face. I was like, wow, okay. Ooh, hope everything works out for us. But then, unfortunately, here's what happened to us. Us meaning my mother, who's Jamaican, and me. So we went to eat at one of the dining areas. We sat down. We were given menus. We decided what we wanted. Another white family came in. It was more of them than us because it was only two of us. It was about six of them. And they ordered whatever it is they ordered. We were still waiting. We got water. My mother asked for coffee. She didn't get it. But they got their coffee before my mom. So we was like, all right, fine, okay. But then another white family came. And again, they served them. The food came and we thought that was our food. It was food for the other white family and not for us. So we was like, okay, no, something is going on. So we addressed it and they were like, well, it's really busy. It was only three families. Me, my mom, the six white people over there, and then there was like four white people. That was the last that came in. It's only three. You ain't that busy. Okay. Then another situation occurred in the gym where my mom was on the treadmill and she said that one of the workers told her to get off so that the white person can get on. So yeah, that particular resort is a problem. Lastly, I will say this. And when I went there, that it was about 20 years ago. I know, embarrassing. But read the reviews. Read as many reviews as you can. Some you might want to skip some of the short reviews. Give them very little weight and really read the long the medium size to the long reviews. Will tell you a little bit more, because again, a lot of times things look pretty, look nice, look beautiful. But then when you actually experience it, you're like, wow, it didn't really live up to my expectations, put it that way, And as for the resort, listen, it is a beautiful place. I did enjoy, some of the things, some of the activities, but some of the staff members um were not so nice. And we weren't flexing on the staff members. We were not rude to the staff members. As a matter of fact, we kept in touch for a while with the people in the band. So you can't say that our attitude is that horrible. All right. Um, but anyway, I hope with what I shared will help you make smart travel moves and, yes, smart money moves at the same time. So, guys, feel free to pass this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.